What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, and I am back with yet another album review, and today I am talking about the latest studio offering from legendary guitarist and singer extraordinaire Jerry Cantrell, I Want Blood. This also came out on October 18th, but this is an independent release, so Jerry released this all on his own. And this is technically his 5th studio solo album. Of course, Jerry Cantrell, riff lord, singer extraordinaire, Alice in Chains, and he's been doing solo albums since the late 90s, on and off over the next 20 plus years. And, well, since we haven't gotten an Alice in Chains album since 2018, I figured might as well jump at the chance to talk about Jerry's solo stuff, and, well, pretty much you're instantly going to compare Jerry's solo material to what he does in Alice in Chains, because there are still some similarities musically, as well as even in some of the lyrical content. Feels very much like Alice in Chains stuff, but of course Jerry's got his own players on this album, quite a lot of guests. So kicking things off with Vilified, tasty drum intro, but the song itself is for the most part rather groovy. Like, there's some groovy riffs, but it's still really heavy, it's sludgy, there's some atonal sections. And of course, when it comes down to lead work, like, Jerry knows how to come up with some clever solos that don't need to be flashy, but just done more to complement the mood of the song. Now, what's interesting with the guest stars is that the primary drummer, who does all the drums except on 2 songs, is Gil Sharon, who is currently the drummer of Marilyn Manson, but also formerly of the Dillinger Escape Plan. And, well, I guess Gil's been playing with Jerry for the past 5 or so years, doing the previous solo album that came out in 2021 that I actually didn't know about. But when it comes down to the bass work on this track, actually this guy does the bass on this, Off the Rails, and the closing track It Comes, Robert Trujillo from Metallica. So you can definitely tell Robert and Jerry are still very close friends, to the point that Robert would come in and do a few songs. And I gotta say, I'll go ahead and talk about those 3 tracks with Robert and Gil working with Jerry. So then it goes into Off the Rails, and this was one of my favorites on the album. Sinister, evil melody, and into straight up Black Sabbath inspired riff work. It's doomy, it's chunky. The chorus in particular on this track was quite memorable. And Robert's bass, like, it's smooth as a baby's ass. And then the closer, It Comes, with Robert Trujillo, he continues to bring on rather smooth bass lines on top of acoustic, clean melodies, but it also has a bit of a somber feel, and there's dark melodies in the chorus, but a twangy lead. Like, there are times on this album where Jerry's solos get rather twangy, which I don't know if it's an effect he's using or it's just the way he's attacking the fretboard whenever he's performing these leads. But sometimes they can be quite twangy, which does add an extra dimension to the solos. But then the other tracks, for the most part, so the following songs, well, not following It Comes, but the other songs, Afterglow, I Want Blood, and Echoes of Laughter, the bass player on these 3 songs is none other than Duff McKagan from Guns N' Roses, Velvet Revolver, among other bands. But Afterglow and Echoes of Laughter has Gil Sharon doing drums, but with Afterglow, this one definitely you can compare to Alice in Chains. Like, the melody and even some of the atonal melodies definitely feel like something straight out of Alice in Chains' playbook, but with more acoustic guitars. And this was the first of the 2 somber tracks on the album when it comes down to the feeling of it. And then Echoes of Laughter, it's mostly doom forward, but there's mostly acoustic guitar work going on, and the vocals get kind of bluesy, like Jerry's kind of showcasing a little bit of a blues voice in this song. But then the song I Want Blood that comes in between them, the drummer on this track is none other than Mike Bordin from Faith No More and formerly of Ozzy Osbourne. And this song was more of like a mid to fast tempo rocker. Like it felt like a straight up rock and roll song, which was unlike any song on the album. It just was a little bit faster. It was a little bit more on the sleazy side, kind of like a Guns N' Roses song to a certain degree. But then you get to the other three remaining tracks. So Throw Me a Line, Let It Die, and Held Your Tongue. Jerry is the one doing the bass on these three songs. Gil Sharon's doing the drums on Throw Me a Line and Held Your Tongue, while Mike Bordin does Let It Die. But Throw Me a Line, another straight up rocker, like the riffs and the bass just feel more raucous. But the bass lines that Jerry is performing on here are quite good. And then Held Your Tongue. This one, again, has more rocking riffs, but I love how it starts with these tuneful vocals from Jerry. But then you get into Let It Die, which Mike Bordin does the drums. This one was another one of my favorites, kind of in a similar vein to Off the Rails, where it's doomy, it's Sabbath-inspired, it's heavy, and I love the bends on the riffs going on this song. Like Jerry's just bending the fuck out of the guitar to make it sound a little darker and a little more evil. And that's pretty much all of the songs on here. I know I didn't go in track order. I just wanted to kind of touch on like each individual guest star on here. Of course, the production done by Joe Barresi, who's been really a busy man over the past nearly decade doing albums. And the production's pretty damn solid. It feels organic. It doesn't feel overproduced. And of course, Jerry's just writing to his heart's content. Of course, as far as any complaints go, I will say I do wish some of these songs could have been a little heavier or a little darker. But for the most part, this was still a fun, enjoyable listen. I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. I thought this was pretty good. Hopefully, this is kind of a sign that maybe we're going to finally get a new Alice in Chains album in 2025. I would certainly love that, considering that's one of my favorite bands of all time. But yeah, 3.5 out of 5. Nothing more, nothing less. But of course, those are just my opinions. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Thank you for watching. Keep your horns high and your dreams wet.
Thank you for your patronage.